What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well before the divisional round games this weekend. Personally, I'm just waiting for the Chiefs to kick off against the Texans and just absolutely obliterate them. But, anyways, this episode's going to be more of a fun one. Dan and I are getting together to go over our hot takes that we had from the 2024 preseason. So, don't worry, Simon's not here, but we will not let him get off the hook. We got plenty of his shitty takes in here as well. Um, but yeah, so main thing is we're going to be going over our hot takes we had heading into the season. Some of them are going to hit, but mostly I focused on all of the bad ones that did not come close to hitting. So if you see at the thumbnail there, we had Zeke Elliott going to the moon. That wasn't really the case. So, yeah. So, outside of this just being a fun episode, laughing at ourselves, seeing it, guys we were so adamant about, like Raheem Mostert, just performing at a high level once again, that clearly didn't happen. Is It's just good to see that whatever you think heading into the season isn't always the case, and more often than not it isn't the case. I mean, looking at all the experts out there who get paid big money to talk about football and what they think, like, no shit, they get them all wrong. I mean, NFL teams draft the wrong player all the time. So yeah, you can think what you know, but yeah, so it's just fun to laugh at yourself, and that's what this episode will be about. So yeah, and at the end of the episode, me and Dan will give you guys our playoff picks. We have quite a few differences on our picks. I'm liking a lot of the underdogs this week, so listen to the episode and find out who we got. Anyways, that's all I got. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, ask us some questions, any of that stuff. So until next time, I'll see you fellas. Peace.
In audio.
3, 2, 1, action. Welcome back to the DGen Fantasy Football Podcast. With me tonight is your host, Dylan Rains, and I'm Mitch Mater. This week, we've only been podcasting for somewhere probably a year now, I would say.
Yeah.
So it's not annual, but I'd like to make this an annual thing.
Yeah, postseason thing.
Yep, postseason. Tonight, we're going to go over, in the spirit of transparency, all of our takes from the summer. Hot takes, I think is a better way to put it. Which some, looking through, some were decent and some were just a complete swing and a miss. Which,
yeah, that's okay.
You got to take a shot. Got to take a shot.
Yeah, so most of these are more misses. I compiled a list from past videos, and like Dan mentioned, we've been doing this for like a year now, just about. But the first 4 or 5 months, we didn't post any videos. So some of these are from the deep vault talk. So
yeah, Google Docs galore.
Yeah, so it'll be entertaining to go through.
Okay, so the first part of this is takes that happen right after the NFL draft, which I think is pretty common because especially for Dynasty, when you're getting ready to like do a rookie draft or something, and say Caleb Johnson goes to a team with like
the Chargers,
as we're obviously going to be like J.K. Dobbins is dead.
Yeah,
but it doesn't always happen like that. So let's get into it. The first player was kind of in that exact situation. It's Chuba Hubbard,
yeah,
who had a stellar year, was a steal and redraft, and was completely undervalued because Jonathan Brooks was coming. Which I just don't think we knew the extent of the man's knee injury.
No.
Fair. If he was more healthy, then maybe this would have came true.
Yeah, I will. I'm just going to jump ahead. There's a take later on in here from Simon that was Jonathan Brooks is only going to miss 4 weeks. He's still going to break 1,000 yards and have 6 TDs. So,
yeah.
Well, I
don't think he was alone. No, I don't think he was alone in that. I mean, the man did take a long time from an ACL, and now he's torn again, and Chuba got signed, so he will not be on my fade list next year.
Yeah.
Next up, Kyren Williams. I mean, everyone was on this bandwagon.
Punt returner Kyren Williams, right?
Yep. All that punt returning came out, which I don't think he's returned to punt this season.
Yeah, maybe he did week 1 or something. Like, I don't know, but
yeah. And then McVay was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to give you 90% of the snap share again."
Yeah.
So what do you think about Kyron next year? I mean, I think he's still back on his rookie deal.
Yeah.
Corum didn't show him. Like, I actually thought Corum looked good in the games where I saw him in.
Yeah. I think I think he will regress a little bit in terms of volume. I think a big thing with McVay and like the NFL in general with these rookies that are like second, third day picks is they might be good their first year, but they don't have the trust of the team. So like
Yeah.
Corum's not fully trusted by the team yet. And like this year's kind of like been his prove it year. And he's been all right in the small usage he's got. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him like ramp up to like a 20-30% snap share. Um,
Yeah, like more so what you'd see with other
Split back.
running back.
Yeah. I just can't imagine the workhorse keeps up, but at the same time, this running back room could go anywhere, right? I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
anyway. So
Right. Like you just really don't know. Maybe Kyron Williams is that good
yeah.
at the intangibles, like pass blocking and all the other things where McVay just will like, let's run this guy into the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. That we read too much X posts on that. Next up were the Jags and Bears wide receiver room. Jags, I think we got wrong. I would say. I mean, BTJ had an amazing year, but the other guys were
Yeah.
bitches.
So I mean, yeah, so they were the biggest losers of the draft, right? So is Christian Kirk and Evan
Gabe
Davis. Was he already there? Yeah. So I guess, yeah, for them, which I mean, they both got injured and missed time. So,
yeah.
and
And then
then,
the Bears, I mean, I think that might have been a good take.
yeah. That being said, I think the thought process here more so was Rome was going to take away the work instead of Caleb sucking. So,
True. And DJ Moore still had a top 20 season, I believe.
yeah, he had some good
He was
numbers.
respectable, and he had a good run. He's actually been a dynasty target of mine recently
Yeah.
because he's one of those guys where he's old when you're at this point of the season in dynasty at 26, but he's a lot of ball left, and his value is probably pretty nice. Colts wide receiver room was another fade post draft.
Yeah. Which is once again correct for the wrong
Sure.
reasons.
Yep.
So this was made with the indication of Adonai Mitchell getting drafted there. He fell a little bit in the draft and the Colts drafted him, and there's a lot of hype of him coming into the season. And then it just turns out AR was just booty cheeks this year, and that's the real reason why they all suffered. So,
yeah, Josh Downs and Pittman, like I think could do serious work if they had a better passer. And AR, I just don't see that situation improving at all.
Yeah.
And worse yet, I see him starting again next year, which is really tough. Really tough. We got to get him out of there.
Yep.
Michael Mayer, obviously. Yeah, the guy's dead.
Yeah. So, I mean, he didn't have too crazy stat-wise numbers of a rookie year, but he did look good down the stretch. He had some good games, and he was a good college prospect. So he was much more in the timeline of like a slow start tight end who was like promising for the future. And then Brock Bowers just came in, stole everything. And then he also had some off-field issues. I don't know exactly what it was. Could have been some sort of family, mental health, drugs. I don't know.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he had he was like on an excused absence. So I don't know exactly what it was. They never said, but it was could have been drugs, alcohol, all that fun stuff. So
yeah, he was a good prospect out of
Notre Dame. Yeah.
And he might be one of those guys where you see this with tight ends sometimes, especially the non like freak athlete ones.
Yep.
Where he's second string now, he goes to another team, and he could be a decent player down the road.
Yep.
But for the next 2 years, he's useless. Maybe a fifth because he was a second round pick, so we got a couple years and he's gone.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, this was
I don't remember this one.
Remember Michael Penix, the biggest surprise of the draft? He went 8th overall to the Falcons.
I thought we were all pretty certain that he was just gonna be benched this year.
Kirk or Penix?
Penix.
Yeah, but also like just it was remember all the media around the time where Kirk was like, I had no idea, I'm shocked kind of thing, and
Oh, yeah.
and
And it seemed like trouble in paradise already.
there was writing on the walls that this was going to be a shit show,
Yeah.
which it kind of turned out to be. So
Yep. It really did. Kirk had a weird season, man. The first half of the year wasn't terrible. He was doing his thing.
yeah,
And then there was just like a 6-game skid where it was awful. But the future looks bright for all the Falcons receivers.
yeah,
Minus Kyle Pitts, but London, Mooney, and those other guys, McLeod, looking good.
yeah.
And then Rashad and Bucky. And we all didn't like Rashad, but none of us liked Bucky, if I recall.
I kind of liked Bucky, personally. I mean, I drafted him in a couple leagues, but
by not like, I mean like contribute to fantasy.
Correct. I thought he was going to be a stash kind of pick.
Yeah.
For those who don't remember, Bucky had a good college career. He had a terrible combine. He was like slow combine week, just not great numbers across the board. So he fell to a fourth round pick. So, but we thought it would just make them both terrible. And Bucky is a god now. So,
yeah, Bucky's so good.
So Rashad did get fucked.
Yeah, which is a good call. I still drafted him in a redraft league for some reason.
Yeah,
even though I really didn't enjoy him. Winners are winners. Okay, this is tough. This is really tough.
Yeah.
Minus James Cook. So we did all like James Cook.
Yeah.
And who's fantastic. I would say be wary next year of how high you take him in redraft though, because he had some games where he exploded for you, won you a week, gave you quite an advantage, and other times the Bills just don't need James Cook. But the guy had 16 touchdowns this year
in the regular season, and he looked good in the playoffs so far. So I would expect touchdown regression this year, but we'll see. I mean, but he was definitely a winner in the draft. Them only drafting Ray Davis in a later round. So
yeah. And then here we go. Let's just skim through these. Caleb Williams, because of the Bears wide receiver room.
Yeah, and Rome specifically, them drafting him. Yep. I think that was a big part of this winning.
Zamir White. It's so fucking obvious, man.
Dude, Simon was the biggest Zamir White fan. I mean, we all were everyone, a bit, but
you know why he was a fan of Zamir White? Because Zamir White beat him in the fantasy football championship last year.
Yes, I remember that.
But yeah, he's dead.
Yep.
He is dead. And then Zeke.
Oh Elliott. My God. This was that
was your guy.
Zeke was my guy, my fucking favorite guy this offseason.
Yeah. Crack 1,000 yards. He's just so cooked. And the situation was just terrible. But I think Zeke's might be in his twilight years here. And then Gardner Minshew, which I feel like I might have picked that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Just because he had Devontae, Jacoby, Brock. I mean, you can't ask for much better when you're...
Yeah, they got Brock and they didn't draft a quarterback. I remember a lot of people were linking Penix to the Raiders pre-draft, and they think that move might have squandered their plans. So we thought Minshew would be I thought he would finish maybe QB 15, 16, something like that for super flex leagues. So that's not a bad.
That's fantastic.
So, and then he just got ass blasted.
He did, dude.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yep.
Okay. That's tough. Okay, now we have some particulars, though. Let's just start with the Simon one in his honor. He couldn't make it tonight.
Yep.
Which is probably his best hot take of all.
This is the scorching hot take.
Yep. And he led me down a path in a smaller dynasty league, and it's Deshaun Watson.
Oh, yeah, you took him in that one league, didn't you? He convinced you. Oh.
I punted quarterback and thought I was being smart with Deshaun Watson. Brutal, man.
Yeah.
QB6.
QB6 is what Simon's Deshaun prediction was.
Yeah. and now Deshaun Watson's dead. Retore Achilles.
QB 40 in points per games. I think he averaged 11 points per game in games he played, which is pretty bad.
Wow. And then to see what Jameis can do when he
Yeah.
steps in. Deshaun Watson, like they should make a documentary about his downfall.
They probably will. And he'll probably get paid because of it.
Yeah. And he's made a shit ton of money. So Deshaun Watson,
yeah,
congratulations. You're the biggest piece of shit. All right, here are some of my hot ones.
Yeah.
Jermaine Burton, 36 wide receiver. Just rookie fever, man.
Yeah.
Rookie fever.
He finished wide receiver 153, and he averaged 1.1 points per game.
So the guy had like 7 catches on the season.
Yeah, I think he had
4. And he's also like mentally ill.
Yeah, he had 4. I think he had 14 fantasy points on the season or something like that.
Okay. And this guy's not going to be in the league 2 years from now. He'll get like one shot because of his talent to like come back and try, and then he'll just blow it again.
Yeah.
All right. Roshan Johnson, a.k.a. Rojo. I said he'd lead the Bears in rushing touchdowns. And then as a really hot take, I said the NFL. But I really believe that he would lead the Bears in rushing touchdowns.
And he did. He did.
And he did.
Yeah.
So it came true. I'm just not a DeAndre Swift man.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a dumpster fire most of the year. E-Rob. Brian Robinson Jr. I thought would finish as an RB1, which for some part of the season that looked like it was a possibility.
Yeah.
Eckler had a good role. This didn't happen. He had injuries, and
it was the injuries that really held him back.
Yeah, and Jaden Daniels is the focal point.
Yeah,
out the runner. Another incorrect one was Kyle Pitts, which Kyle Pitts finishes as a tight end 1, which, as we noted during this episode when I said that, finishing as a tight end 1 or like the tight end or a tight end 1 to be like the tight end 12 overall is not that impressive.
I think he finished as I did these all up already. I think he finished at tight end 15 with 7.7 points per game. So,
and let me just read the absurd. The man is receiver playing tight end. Don't play. Not Kelsey, not Laporta, not London, not Bijan. Falcons have an adult at QB now. And at his current ADP, this is a layup. London will eat, but this is a consolidated passing attack. It's London, Pitts, and some check down design plays to Bijan.
Oh my God.
So it happened. It came true for London. Bijan had a great year.
Yep.
Why not Pitts?
Because he sucks.
He just sucks. Yeah.
That was like
he is.
Pettix's, I think it was either Pettix's first game or second game. He threw the ball to Pitts like on the goal line, and Pitts just like handed it off to the defender.
Yeah, it almost looked like he tossed it to the.
Yeah,
like he was trying to toss it to someone around him and just did something really stupid. So Kyle Pitts is dead to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if like 3 years from now he finishes as a tight end 1 on some random Jonnu Smith type of season. But
yeah, I feel like we could. Yeah, maybe. I feel like we could just blame Simon for this, dude. He was like the biggest Kyle Pitts fan. It's been like his take every year is like he makes the comeback, and we like start believing it because it's all he talks about for the entire offseason.
Yeah. And he was an athletic freak, but if you saw Falcons games this past year, he just didn't look impressive at all. Okay, we're almost done. For mine, Pat Freiermuth, a.k.a. the Muth is loose, will finish as a top 5 tight end. And
this wasn't too
I basically
bad.
thought that he did finish as like a tight end.
Tight end 9.
10?
9.
It didn't quite happen, but he pulled it together second half of the year, and if he kept that pace up, he would have finished top.
Yeah, so.
Didn't have it with Justin Fields at first. All right.
Yeah.
You want to hit? Simon's got a good one here.
All right. I feel bad saying this even. All right. So Simon's light the Dortch take was Greg Dortch will finish as wide receiver 19 this season with a career high 1,010 yards and 6 TDs. Yes, to go along with a breakout 400 rushing yards strictly from lining up in the backfield on RPOs. Now I have nothing to back up this claim due to him never finishing more than 500 yards in his career, but I feel it in my bones. uh,
God damn, this is why no one listens to our podcast.
yeah.
Um, I like it. Very specific too. 1,010 yards
Such an odd number.
with 400 rushing yards. He's going to go for a combine.
Yeah.
1,400 yards.
So I don't have the number off the top of my head, but I remember I think he was wide receiver 85 on 5 points per game, something like that. So I don't think that adds up to 1,010 yards.
I'm not sure either. Really a math guy, but yeah, honestly, he could never have done it. And Kyler just, it was their passing attack was.
Yeah, they got to figure that offense out. We thought they were like the golden ticket offense in the draft.
I drafted a lot of Kyler and Marv for that matter. All right. July we had a Lover Boys and Fast Faders segment based on ADP. You want to do lovers and I'll do faders?
Yeah. Oh. So I think this first one was yours, which is a hit, was Jaden Daniels. You love Jaden Daniels. Yep. People remember in redraft, he was going like 9th, 10th round. Yeah. That was an amazing pick. Next, we had Dak Prescott. He was going in like the 6th round, from what I remember. Dak kind of had he got injured and he wasn't having a great year before then. So, yeah.
We forgive him.
Yeah, the injury's all right. Pitts, obviously, terrible value, terrible pick.
That was my mind.
I think Simon's. And then mine was Matt Stafford. I just remember.
Stafford really hasn't been good like the second half of the season.
Yeah, he had a bad stretch down the end of the game or end of the season. I think I won a champion in spite of him. He had like 4 straight sub 10 point games.
Yeah, which is brutal as a quarterback, but he was serviceable and you're super flex.
Yeah,
for a lot of the year. So I think that's a hit.
Yeah, he was also he was going like 12th, 13th round. So.
Right. Like on his ADP.
Yeah.
Absolute smash. Okay, for faders, we had CJ Stroud. Fair. I mean, he got drafted pretty high. He was like a 5th, 6th round guy.
I think it was 4th, 5th. He was like the 4th or 5th QB off the board. So,
yeah. Which, guys, in order for that to pay back, he's got to throw over 30 touchdown passes, and that's just not going to happen year to year.
Nope,
just not. So don't take a Stroud, very talented quarterback, and throw 30 plus. But I just would rather wait for someone else. Terry McLaurin, faders. Why? I have no idea.
This is a bad one in retrospect.
Yeah. I mean, Terry, I guess we just were worried about Jaden Daniels' arm.
Mark's been crossed by Terry too many times is what it was.
Okay. This was a Mark guy. Okay.
Yeah. And I
remember thinking Jaden for fantasy was great because of his running ability, but we were like kind of questioning his arm talent, which is.
Yep. I definitely was skeptical of his arm talent, but I think Terry was like 6th round and we liked some other guys in that round more than him. Or at least I think some of us did, like T. Higgins. I think some people liked Calvin Ridley more than him. Granted. Bad, terrible. I don't think that was me, but yeah, that's a rough one. That's easily
that might have been Calvin Ridley because I was kind of on a Will Levis, like he could be good train.
Yeah, I was too. We kind of all were coping Will Levis.
Yeah, we were. Fuck you, Will Levis. Although he's hilarious, dude. Love watching that guy play ball. All right, next fader was Jalen Hurts, which was because Saquon was there, worried about him losing his goal line touchdowns. Ridiculous. I mean, he's just a lock for fantasy as long as he is
healthy,
starting in the offense.
Yeah, if he didn't get hurt at the end there, I think he was 3rd in points per game as a QB, 3rd or 4th. He was still over 20 points per game, so he had a great season outside the injuries. So,
yep, scored another double-digit touchdown. Looked really good. So as long as he's like the quarterback for the Eagles, keep drafting him where you're drafting him. Sam Laporta. which he was going in like the second or third round, if I recall,
Yeah.
when we made this. And Sam Laporta was an absolute hit in terms of a fader,
Yeah.
and still is the entire season. I'm not saying he's not because he was just
Yeah.
drafted so high, but he did pull together like the last third of the season.
Yeah, he did.
And he did look good, but that was just way too high for him to be
Yeah.
drafted.
I think 3 weeks straight, I had like a different hit piece on Laporta on why he was going to suck.
Yeah. And it did not save him from being a bad draft pick at the ADP. But again, guys, he didn't have a ton of yardage. And I mean, he did a decent amount of yards. But what got him to be such a stellar rookie season was his touchdowns. And like that could easily
Yeah.
go away.
He had like 5 more TDs than any other tight end. So,
Yeah. So if you're going to take a tight end that early, get the 1 to 3 tight ends that are like putting up over 1,000 yards as a tight end. It's really impressive. All right.
All right.
You want to go over your 3 picks?
So
These are sleeper picks that we decided to do.
Yeah, these are my redraft sleeper picks of trying to not leave any of my leagues without. So in a lot of my best ball leagues, I had these guys. In a couple of my redraft, I drafted all 3 of these guys. Marshawn Lloyd, Pop Douglas, and DJ Hawkinson. They were all like 12th rounder later. I thought for sure they were all going to be good players. I mean, Hawkinson with the injury, he was going to miss the start of the year, which happened. He looked all right when he came back, but it was nothing amazing. I thought Pop Douglas was going to be I thought he was going to be the guy in New England with Drake May, just quick,
like a 90 catch kind of guy. Yeah, exactly.
Like 90 catches, 800 yards, some disgusting thing like that. Yeah. And then Marshawn Lloyd, I fell in love with him during training camp with all the pictures of him just looking absolutely jacked out there. Do you remember those?
Yeah, and who knows? He might have something. He just got injured, but
yeah,
we also faded, or it felt like we kind of faded Josh Jacobs a little bit.
Yeah,
which was a weird choice because we've had years of seeing efficient Green Bay Packer running game, and he just got signed for like a $48 million contract.
Yeah,
clearly bought it. He wasn't just brought in to like be a good running back for them. He was like the focal point of their offense.
Yeah,
and they were kind of garbage booty when he wasn't utilized well.
Yep.
Okay. Next up this is from our My Guys episode.
Yeah.
Which is probably the most important episode we had. My Guys is guys that we were trying to draft as much as we possibly could. And that we really believed in. So I'll start with mine. My first My Guy was T. Higgins. I believe he was going in the 6th round. I would say he nailed it for you, but when you needed T the most, he wasn't to be found. He just had a lot of injuries this year, but he finished as like a wide receiver 16, 17 on like 12 games.
Yeah.
And he probably was top 5 in points per game.
I think he was second in points per game. Also, if you did manage to weather the storm and make your fantasy championship with T. Higgins, he put up 40 points in the championship league. So
that is not true. Right, but when you needed him for like making that final stretch of the playoffs, and
the beginning of the season was rough. It was really rough.
Yeah, it was looking terrible. It was looking like T. Higgins of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's an excellent receiver. I mean, he had some crazy games. Now, if he loses Joey B next year to go to another team, and his quarterback's name not like Justin Herbert, you might be back to like, the 70 catch, 1,000 yard kind of guy, which is
I don't think he can go anywhere that's better than his current situation. So,
and I could see him being pumped up into like round 3, 4 next year. If you think about who we're taking in this year, I mean, we were taking Devontae Adams and Olave in the 2nd round, and it just was not great. Next up was Calvin Ridley. I don't think I told anyone this, but a part of me really thought that Calvin had sneaky wide receiver 1 potential, so top 12. Yeah, we were just coping so hard with Levis, and he just didn't get it done. I think Calvin Ridley would be great because he had some blow up games, but now he's 30.
Yeah.
Their quarterback situation is not going to get any better next year. They might get a good quarterback, but rookie year quarterback. So
yeah, he's fucked. Do you remember like week 3 or 4? There was a clip going around Twitter. I think one of us probably sent it to each other. Was there was a game where Calvin Ridley had like 11 targets, and it was like every single target clipped like back in a row, and every single one was uncatchable. Like they were like way over his head into the ground. Like not a single one was catchable.
At that moment, people should have been trying to trade.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley. Because then their backup was Mason Rudolph, who played better.
Yeah, he just randomly kind of balled out, but
yeah, but like next year, I mean, they could get Cam Ward,
yeah,
which may be enough to kind of get the hype going again. So like, if that happens, you should trade him in Dynasty.
Yeah,
and just cut ties. You just got to do it. And then my last guy was Najee. I don't like Najee. I think his rookie year when he dominated was based off sheer volume, like the likes we've never seen.
Yeah,
didn't even score that many touchdowns, just every dump off pass. But there was a coaching change there, and we hate Artie Smith.
Yeah,
but for some reason, I convinced myself that he was going to improve the Steelers' run game with the best offensive line.
Yeah,
and Najee just put up the most Najee season ever. So he finished like probably RB 23 and had 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, and that's just what you're going to get.
Yep.
Yeah. Not if Najee went to the Chargers next year, would that make you excited for him?
Yeah, for sure. Especially in the Harbaugh system. Yeah. That being said, I don't know if that's what we're looking at in terms of the Chargers, but yeah, I'd be excited. I don't think he's going to get drafted too high this year. So
yeah, true. Could still be a late round pick because he still shows like flashes of like, oh shit, this guy looks big and fast. But other times you're just like, the fuck?
Yeah. All right. So moving over to my guys. I was a big advocate of taking advantage of our reckless driving boys, the duo of Rashee Rice and Jordan Addison. So at the time of when we filmed this video was when Rashee, it was obviously before the season started. Rashee was still unknown if he was going to get suspended or not. So he was going ADP in like the 8th round. And I think his ADP as the year went on kind of came down to like the 6th round or so. But I think I took him in the first pick of a 4th round in one redraft because I was like so certain he was going to be the guy in Kansas City, and he was for 4 weeks until he died. So that one was brutal.
Yeah, that was a hit though.
Yeah, that's for sure.
He was going to finish at least top 10.
Yeah,
if not like top 5.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't take. He was on pace to blow that out. I mean, Drake Leonard finished as a wide receiver 5 on like 3 really good games.
Yeah,
so Rice was like right there.
Yeah, he was averaging like Chase numbers just about, I believe.
So. And like 20 points.
Yeah.
20 points per game. So next year he'll be interesting. His ADP should be fine though. But you just don't like his suspension will be looming.
Yeah, it depends when it comes down, if it does. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 8 games, but it'll be the guessing game all off season. So, and then Jordan Addison as well. He had his little incident driving. I think he was drunk, passed out on the highway, something like that. And we thought he was going to get suspended. He didn't get suspended. He was going in like the 10th round. Absolute smash win of a pick. He had a great second half of the season, just really solidified himself. So that was a good one. And then my final one was a miss. I was high, much similar to Zeke, but was Raheem Mostert. And
what happened to that game?
Dude, I don't know. I thought he would regress for sure, but I was like, there's no way he doesn't score like 10 TDs, right? Because he had
after 20, yeah,
it was like 20, 21, something like that. It was over 20 for sure. And then I was like, he'll get like at least 10. No, I don't even know if he had 2.
I don't know if he had 2 either. And at this ADP in the 9th round, if he got 10, he would have been a top 20.
Exactly. So I thought he was going to be a steal. Not the case.
Yeah, he's a guy where like you're not sure if he's going to be in the league next year, but
yeah, he had 2 TDs on 278 yards with 85 carries. Jesus
brutal.
Christ.
He's dead. Yeah, I mean that whole offense was brutal, man. I mean, the Tyreek Hill season crushed people.
Yep.
Absolutely crushed people. And then the last note we have on bad analysis. At various points throughout the season, we said to sell James Conner, who only got better as the season went on.
Yep.
Chuba Hubbard, who was consistent as fuck the entire year, being a boss. And Terry McLaurin, who that was a good call the first 4 weeks of the season, because the first 4 weeks of the season were not pretty for Terry.
Yeah.
And then he just scored a shit ton of touchdowns. Best season of his career.
Yeah. It's rough.
Okay.
But
we didn't really include any of the hits we had, but that's all right. We'll just go over
I thought the misses was more fun. So
yeah. What is your favorite like player hit?
I feel like Rasheed, I was the most adamant about heading in, but I think the other one's probably Jordan Addison. I've been high on Addison like the whole dating back to like his rookie year. So to see it like finally come into action, not just like the 10th round pick with the fucking getting like the cheap deal there, but I mean, I took him in in a startup league for a dynasty. Like he's been one of my favorite guys to watch. He's really good. He's fun to watch. So
yeah, I think some of mine, Chuba Hubbard, I drafted in like every redraft league, and it did me absolute justice. Tucker Kraft, was a dart throw that hit. He had over 700 yards receiving, and he's one of those guys where like over the summer we'll see how it goes. But because he could be like a one hit wonder like Robert Tonyan, or he could just be like a consistent, athletic, good blocker.
Yeah,
like a part of the offense. Khalil Shakir, but I don't think he finished. He was definitely top 30, but he was teetering on like low end wide receiver 2 for most of the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
which was fun because Keon Coleman was getting a lot of hype, and then Amari came, and Khalil is just like Josh's safety blanket. And then the last one, much like you with Addison, but I saw Jordan Mason get garbage time in a game last season against the Cowboys. It was like in October.
Yep.
And saw greatness in him and was able to snag him out of waivers in a dynasty league.
Yeah.
Like right when that CMC news was breaking. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Jordan Mason. His dynasty value is probably like absolutely nothing right now.
Yeah. You could probably get him for like a 3rd round pick or something.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd sell him for a 3rd round pick.
No, I wouldn't.
Because you just don't know where he's going to end up next year.
Yeah.
That being said, there's been many Niners running backs that have looked very good in the Shanahan system.
And that's their career.
Yep. Except for Raheem Mostert. He brought it elsewhere.
Yeah.
So you never know. All right. That's it. That's our bad takes. Our bad hot takes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over some playoff picks before we wrap it up for the night.
Yeah. So we'll go over our picks for the playoffs this weekend. Starting on Saturday, we got the Texans visiting the Chiefs. Last week, I didn't pick against the spread or anything. I just picked my winners. So I think we just picked the winners.
Yeah, I picked winners. I think the Chiefs are going to win, but I don't think they cover that spread.
Yeah. I don't think they do either. It's an 8-point spread, or at least it was last I checked. So, yeah, I think the Chiefs win easily. Or it might be like closer than you think, but I think they win for sure. Like
they'll win in Chiefs fashion.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll win by like 3 to 6 points.
Yeah, where everybody thinks that the other team like kind of has a chance just because it's within like 2 scores, but it's really they don't have a chance. So,
the Chiefs are just masterful.
Yeah, and then we get
Washington, Detroit.
That's Saturday night, Washington, Detroit.
Should be a good game.
Yeah, dude, I'm picking Jaden Daniels. I've gone commies. They're gonna win this thing.
Dude, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. God, the implied team total is 55.5. It's gonna be a fucking crazy game,
Yeah.
hopefully. I'm gonna go. I'll take Detroit
Yeah.
for the dub. 9.5 point spread. I don't know. I mean,
I feel like they just got something magical going on over there. I don't know.
that's what I mean. Like they'll just dick stomp the Commanders. But
Granted, yeah. So,
we'll
but
see.
I think Jaden kind
Rams, Eagles?
of surprises some people. I
Right.
kind of want to pick the Rams and the Eagles, or the Rams over the Eagles, but I don't know if I can. I think I'm gonna go Rams. Fuck it. Yeah, we're
Okay.
going Rams. I think.
As an Eagles fan, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Like the Rams looked very good, controlled the game, didn't have to do anything too crazy, and they still just like whooped ass. And the Eagles looked kind of gross against the Packers.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
they had some injuries.
Yeah.
Kobe Dean got injured.
Yeah. They did have a couple of injuries. I think I said earlier this week in the video, this was like the most disgusting game to watch was the Packers Eagles playoff game. It was just like,
Oh,
I feel like as an Eagles fan, I would have been expected a lot more from them with the 3 first half turnovers and the
yeah.
Packers playing so bad. So
The Packers looked awful. Sans Josh Jacob.
yeah.
And the Eagles just Jalen Hurts did not look good either. We got bad Jalen.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. The Rams can be prone to having bad games.
So
we'll see.
all right. And then at Ravens versus Bills, I'm going Josh here. I think the Bills get the dub.
1 point spread.
Yeah.
I'll go Bills. I'll go Bills here as well.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like that's a tough one though, man. That's a tough one.
Yeah. I think I really want this game to be good. I feel like has to disappoint just because of it's like too fairy tale of a story to be like an amazing like 31-28 game kind of thing, but
yeah, like the most hyped up
yeah
game ever. I hope so. Sunday night too.
Yeah, in fucking Buffalo. I think Bills are undefeated at home this year. I think the weather is an advantage for them for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Josh is just gonna pull it out this year.
Yeah. I don't think he wins the Super Bowl, but I think he'll beat Lamar here.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I want him to as well. So I'm picking with my heart this week. Like the Commanders over the Lions, total heart pick.
Yeah.
That's not like
that is.
But
the Lions do have something special going on. Like that's I don't like part of me wants to be like they're gonna blow it. But I've seen them win a game where Jared Goff threw 5 picks.
God,
and they dug out the win, which is like
against another team that's still in the playoffs. It was against the Texans, remember?
It was the Texans.
Yeah. So
crazy. All right, guys, please make sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave us a comment. We'll be back again next week.
Yes, sir. See ya.